Hi guys, it's Pete from the Academy team and I'm here with Canon to have a look at some of their new releases and finally get my hands on the amazing new R3. So we're going to take a look at the R3 first because it's like Christmas holding this in my hand. I've waited so long to play with one of these. I'm a big 1D series shooter and straight away this just feels natural. It feels like it should do. We'll go through some of the quick tech specs. So 24 megapixel backside illuminated stack sensor, brand new from Canon, with an amazing ISO performance, 100 to 102,400 native ISO, which you can then extend to 204,800 if you want to. It's got a brand new dual pixel CMOS AF focusing system in there as well, which much like the R5 does face and eye detection and animal eye detection, but also now has vehicle identification and tracking, including open cockpit, motorbike, helmet. It's amazing. As well as the changes with the dual pixel AF CMOS, they've also now got the IAF. It sounds weird trying to say that, but through the viewfinder, the focusing system activates on your eye movement. It's amazing. Okay, it needs a little bit of calibration at first, but once it's calibrated to you individually, it is absolutely stunning. Where you look, you see the focus activation there, it activates instantly, and then the focusing system takes over as it tracks the subject around the frame. It is unbelievable. So let's talk a little bit about video as well for all the videographers out there. So a very similar video specs to the R5, but again with some enhancements and improvements. So it's 6K, 4K at 120p. I think that's just insane. It does oversampled 4K internally as well, with the only limitations now being memory card storage capacity and physical battery life. While we're on the note of the battery as well, it's the exact same battery as the 1DX3. So users won't have any problems integrating from a full DSLR system to a mirrorless system, and trust me folks, this doesn't feel any different. It feels amazing. While we're talking similarities to the original 1D series, grip size, absolutely perfect. Balance and performance feels fantastic. You've got the same optical joystick, for want of a better description. I think it's an optical mouse that allows you to seamlessly and freely move the AF around on the back here. You've also got that in vertical control, as you'd expect with a full Pro Body 1D series. A vari-angle screen, which a lot of people are huge fans of, myself included. Just allows you to be able to adjust shooting position, composition, focus. Again, touchscreen, absolutely amazing. Got 120 frames per second, 5.7 million dot electronic viewfinder, and looking through it, it's just sensational. And one of the things I found with the viewfinder and the AF system on this camera was, unlike any other camera really that I've tried from Canon or any other manufacturer, the eye autofocus was activating and engaging without the need to engage the autofocus. It was finding eyes in the frame without me even asking it to, without me even pointing it in the right direction. It was fine. Even when it was completely out of focus, it would detect the eye shape on people's faces. It is that sensitive. I'm even more blown away than I thought I was going to be when I got to play with this camera. So some of the other power and the intensity of the camera, a lot of you already know, 30 frames per second, zero blackout on that electronic viewfinder. I mean, that's just insane. I believe it's 12 frames a second on the mechanical shutter, which if you're then shooting with flash and you require the sync speeds or anything like that, is still a phenomenal amount. While we're on that subject, brand new hot shoe from Canon as well, which will work with some of their new systems they've got coming out, things like the STE10 transmitter. So you've got an electronic contact point at the front here, so it works with all the existing flash accessories, but there's a lot more to come from Canon on that front, so keep an eye out for that as well. Something else Canon are making absolute leaps and bounds, especially with the R3, is in-body image stabilization, where Canon now have up to 8 stops of stabilization built in camera, no requirement for lens stabilization. If you have got lens stabilization, you're still likely to get up to 8 stops of stabilization. Something else that's absolutely breathtaking with this camera is the startup time. So as a sports photographer, being able to pull the camera from the bag or from the hip straight up, turn it on, get into a shooting position is fairly key. So 0.4 seconds. I mean, it's so difficult to comprehend just how quick that is, but here it is. That's how quick it is. It's amazing. So I'm going to move on to the brand new RF 100 to 400. As you can see, it is amazingly small, amazingly light, brilliant travel lens. 100 to 400, f5.6 through to f8. But something I would like to point out with this lens, from 100 to around about the 300mm mark, it stays at f5.6. It doesn't have an increasing aperture from 100 to roughly 300. It then becomes f8 when you move to the 400. For me, I think that's actually really, really useful, and it's certainly an advantage over a lot of the other competitors for this type of lens out there. You've got the 3 control rings, which means you can just customize the lens for complete convenience and ease of use, and it is phenomenally light, very, very sharp as well. They've also improved the minimum focusing distance on this, so you can actually use it telephoto or wide, and you can obtain a much closer focusing distance as well. As well as that, you've also got, again, Canon absolutely smashing it out of the park here with stabilization, 5.5 stops built into the lens. So pair that with any of your R series cameras, you've got 5.5 stops of stabilization there. Pretty awesome. So next up, we've got the 16mm. It's a 16mm F2.8 STM lens. Really, really small, really lightweight, lovely focal length for street photography or vloggers as well with the STM motor. It's going to be really nice and quiet, great minimum focusing distance, and because it's so small and light, it won't give you too much instability in terms of holding it for vlogging. You've got a focus or control ring on the front here, which gives you flexibility in what you choose to do with the lens. I think that'll be a great addition to most people's kit. If you'd like any more information on the R3 or either the RF lenses that we've had a look at today, take a look at the Jessops.com website or pop in and see one of our experts in your nearest branch who'd be more than happy to help you. We'll be looking forward to doing a full hands-on field test on the R3 very, very soon, so check back for further updates.